welcome back to Hitch Up Adventures. I'm Luke. Today I'm back in the shed and I've got two new products that I want to share with you and just give you some insight as to why we're changing from one of them, which is a barbecue, and how we're going to now actually set up our kitchen setup. So yeah, let's get straight into it. So the first product that I've got here for you today is a new barbecue. We've got the new Ziggy here. This is the Nomad. We've been using a Weber, I think not quite the family, but the next one down, for quite some time on our trips. So we're upgrading to this one here. The main reason that we are doing that is, like many caravanners, under the front of your caravan, you've got a gas bayonet, which goes straight to your gas bottles. Now, quite a few caravan parks are definitely getting a little bit more particular about this. And the reason is because of flame failure. Now, if you're not sure what flame failure means, well, it's basically a safety. If you think about your gas cooktop at home, when it sparks, you can hear it zap while you're actually getting some gas coming through and it ignites. If it goes out, there's actually a thermocouple there which maintains heat from the flame. The minute that flame goes out, that thermocouple senses the drop in temperature, it will cut out your gas. Now, with our Weber, if we've got it connected up with the bayonet there, which is a straight line to the gas bottle on the Caravan, it doesn't have a thermocouple, and that will not cut out the gas. So essentially, you're cooking away, you walk off somewhere, and the gas just keeps pumping out absolutely everywhere. So that's a huge risk to then come back and light it up. If you've ever seen a gas explosion, it's pretty hectic. It just goes, gas sinks onto the ground, and it just like ignites the whole ground everywhere. So in a caravan park, if you're next to someone else, you could imagine that would be an absolute catastrophe. So the Nomad here is specifically designed for caravans and boats because it does have the flame failure. So we're going to work out a way of how to have that connected up to the Caravan. So I'll put my 2 meter long extension gas line onto that one. And the other thing we have is the ability to store a Weber. For those of you that have got them, the lid is quite domed and they don't really fit in your tunnel boot or anywhere really particular. You tend to be ripping the lid off all the time, and it's not really great. The actual the hot plates move around when you're traveling. You got to try and put them back in a bag. You got the greasy little pins to put that lid on and off. It's just a bit challenging, especially if you're touring and you're trying to cook up day in and day out. So the Ziggy, a few of my friends have got these, and I've had a look at them on their camp setups. The awesome thing is the lid is attached. When you open it up, the lid actually folds inside itself really low. So the measurement of that height is 270 mil. So it does fit in your side main tunnel boot here, really easy. The hot plates are held in with pins, so if you're traveling, they're not going to shake about. And they've got the flame failure. So they're the three main reasons why we're going to go with the Ziggy. And yeah, just use that for our normal cooking. Now, a lot of people do have different types of cooking setups. They'll have a barbecue, then they'll have some double hot plates. So I'm going to show you what this will look like as our full setup, and then explain to you why we're going to go about setting up our new kitchen, essentially, or a slide out kitchen inside here. You might be able to see that behind me there. This is the Dune 4x4 camp kitchen. Now, this comes in a couple of different, I guess, configurations from different companies. It's identical to the XTM. There's nothing between them. They're about $4.99 at the moment if you're a club member. You can get a Ridge 4x4, which looks to be a little bit more durable. It's another $200. But look, I'm pretty happy with the Dune over the XTM. I just like the fact that it had some, hello, Roxy is with us here today. I'll get rid of her. It's got some little blue indicators, and it's just a bit easier for the kids to work out how to slide this in and out as well. And I just like the finish on it a little bit better than the XTM. Wasn't really a big fan of that big bright orange logos all over my gear. So I'm going to pull this out of the box and I'm going to show you how I'm going to set this up inside this front tunnel boot. So here's the tunnel boot here, and it's a pretty standard size, and we've got our light. Oh, I better turn the van on. Chuck on our main power switch. There we go. So we've now got our big tunnel boot, and there's plenty of light, and we've got access down the other end. So if I'm going to put some sort of kitchen in here, I'm pretty happy that I can get access from the other side. It is going to be a little bit smaller access, but I reckon anything that I want to put in here, I'll be able to get through the other side and still reach. So just some quick measurements for you. From here to here is 340. From left to right is 840. That's the size of mine. And I'm pretty sure that's the standard of Jayco's and other ones we've had as well. This doesn't have much of a lip down here, which is great. It's quite low to it. I know a couple others are a little bit higher or sunken down, and we've just got this extra little lip here. So when you're doing your measurements and anything you're going to fit in here, make sure you double check what you're going to do. So most people have been buying a really big slide out kitchen that comes out, I think it's the, what's the brand? Not Coleman, Dometic, the big Dometic one. And it's got a couple of gas burners on this side, then there's a little chopping board and a sink. Well, to be honest, I don't need a sink, and I don't need that tiny little chopping board, and I'm not going to utilize those gas burners. I'm not a person that uses a lot of pans when I'm cooking. I'm just comfortable on a barbie. You know, I can do my bacon and eggs, sausages, I can cook a roast or whatever I can, and I just need space for that barbecue to sit nice and solid, and then also have space to cut up and prep as well. But if we are here for a couple of days, you know, I could expand that out and have another table. But for roadside cooking, the ability just to be able to, you know, open up this door, pull out a big level bench of some sort, and then use the bayonet fitting, which is just under here, to then hook on a barbie and cook on the side of the road, that is just going to be so enticing to me. Because when you're camping, the one thing that you always try and do, or you pull up and you make sure that your van's level, right? So if you've got some sort of table that's connected off your caravan, you're going to make sure that that cooking surface is level as well. If you've got to set up one of these, you know, trestle tables somewhere on the ground, you've got to try and level it out. And obviously they're a bit big and bulky. These half-fold ones are a bit better, and you can get them in small sizes. But it's still about the ground. You know, you don't have flat ground. You've got rocks, pebbles if you're on a beach, or sand, things like that. So I'm really happy to try and come up with a concept that comes out of here and just gives us a nice straight level bench to work with. So let's get all this out of the box and I'll show you what's going to happen. So this is the Dune slide out kitchen. It comes in basically this one box. You've got the manual, you've got some little plastic feet that will go on the bottom of the legs when they're extended, and you've got some big securing bolts. They're all stainless steel, which is great with washers, and they do have the nylon style lock nuts, which is what you'd need to make sure nothing comes undone when you're going to use something in a caravan. And I pulled the Ziggy out of the box here, and I just quickly did put my own hose on there. So that's the bayonet fitting. It's a 2 meter long length, and I just simply undid that fitting and swapped it over. So that's the Ziggy there, and these are the little pins I was talking about. They pop in and out here, so that'll hold a hot plate in place, but also the lid as well. So if you haven't seen a Ziggy before, they're kind of cool. You know, you've got all the normal temperature gauges on there, but you can lock that lid at different heights as well. There's a bit of a wind catch, or you can keep it right open and pack it away, and there's a lock on either side. So this is the Nomad, like I said. It's got the igniter there as well, but inside here, it's actually your sparker there, and there must be some sort of flame failure device inside here as well. So that's what makes it legal to be able to use these bayonets. Otherwise, you have to hook it up on a gas bottle, and you have to then have it separate. So you could all understand how hard it is to pull out gas bottles and run those all the time on the side of the road. So I've just done a quick little hack here. Keep it nice and easy. A couple little clamps there just to hold it on the table. So I just want to show you how this works. The top section, you push it and it slides out. So that is actually for a fridge slide. So this normally would sit in the back of a ute or a four-wheel drive, and you could have your fridge coming out. This is a bit of the back of your car, and you'll be able to get access to your fridge really easy. You get out all your bits and pieces that you need, and you simply slide it back in, and then you can pull out your kitchen bench. It comes in 2 parts. Okay, so it got a little bit greasy having to pull this out, so I'm sorry, it might need a little bit of a cleanup. That's just grease from the runners there. So you've got a massive area here to be able to cook and prep on. Now I've only just clamped that down, and it's really quite durable. This section here, it comes with a set of guards that if you want to, I'll just set you up. Roxy, over here. So it comes with a set of wind guards for your gas cooktop. So you can just undo these. There's two little sort of straps here that hold it in place, and the panels have these little slots so that these side wings don't move around too much. So you can really quickly pull that out. Set it in place. Might need to just go a little small, that's it. There we go, one side. That's the other. And the third one's in place. So there you go, you've got a nice wind protection all the way around. So I'll just show you, if I was going to set this up as a full setup, what it would look like. Well, I've absolutely snookered myself, not realising I've got the Coleman Gladiator series here, and you've got this little connection, and normally that just hangs off the edge of the table. I've never had an issue with it, but now that's going to be a problem if I'm going to try and cook off this side. So I have to reverse it around the other way when I use this cooker. So there you go, just a little tip for you. So there you have it. We've got our Ziggy in the middle, and then we've got our double burner on the side here, our Gladiator. This will run off the bayonet for the Caravan, and we've got to run a separate little gas bottle for these Gladiators. I'm pretty sure that this setup doesn't work off the bayonet. I think there's something, an issue. It's like a double regulator. So I'd never intended to have that run off the bayonet. So definitely its own little 3 kilo gas bottle for that one there. So that would be our full setup. You know, if we're cooking, maybe on camp on the beach or something for a couple of days, I'd probably set it up that way, and we can just boil water and do what we want to do over here. And like I showed you before, I can only have one windbreak on the side and the back because of this little section is in the way. You know, a simple hole just drilled straight through the end of the guard here would allow that to go straight through. So I reckon that's a mod I'm going to have to do. When I'm pulling up on the side of the road and I'm just going to do a quick bacon egg brekkie or some, you know, snags or something like that for lunch, I would have the barbecue out on the very end, because if I had it here, this is going to be the edge of the Caravan. So just to give myself a bit of space, I didn't want to, you know, be cooking right up next to the Caravan here. It might get a little bit hot or get a bit of fat maybe on it, but also if you brought down your awning or something like that, that could be in the way. So just getting it out a little bit further out here is going to give us a lot more space to work with it. So that'll also allow us to use this as maybe a storage. You know, you might be able to make a bit of a pantry setup or some food or boxes or something like that on top as well, so that you can bring it out, grab your goodies, tuck them back inside the box, and then prep away on here just with a normal cutting board. There are a couple of options here where you could have this cut in half, and you could just put your own little plastic sort of sink in there, one of those foldable sinks if you liked. And the Ridge one actually did have a chopping board, but I didn't want to cut this up. I thought I'd rather have my own option to do whatever I like, and others did have a chopping board that went all the way through here, but I just thought they were a bit too flimsy. So this gives me the flexibility to do a couple of modifications if I like, and it's pretty durable. You've also got your legs as well, which I forgot to show you. There's 4 legs under here. They just clip in, and you just drop them down. So that's pretty steady at the minute without having these legs down, but obviously having the legs down all the way is going to make it a little bit more durable. There's some little black feet that you can put on the end of those if you need to. Pretty simple, and that's going to give it a really good sturdy sort of workbench for you. This platform and this platform allow you to have 60 kilos of weight each, so that's heaps of weight to be able to do whatever I want to do. I'm pretty happy with that. Just got to make sure that we bolt this in. So it's time to pull all this apart. I'm going to get this frame by itself, and I'm going to mount it inside the front box. If you're not sure how to ever take out some sort of slide runner, there's always this little latch here. So you just push that one down, and there's a set on both sides, and you'll be able to slide them all out. And there you have it. I've got the actual frame that you can basically undo these bolts here and these bolts there and this set, and you're allowed to slide this rail up and down depending on where you want to bolt that. So you might have a set of bolts from your rear seats that you want to utilize in your vehicle. That gives you plenty of room to be able to adjust for those. It's not an issue for me, so I just want to make sure I get a fixing right back here so that it doesn't cantilever too much, and I'll get something through the front there. So I'm pretty happy with that. Let's see how it fits inside the tunnel boot. Now that I've got this in here, I'm actually surprised how much space I do have. You know, we can put big long fishing rods or anything like quite long down there, which is great because having a long space in your caravan is always important. And I wasn't sure how much space I'd have here, but there's actually a ton of room. You know, I can still have this all sitting in here. I can have, you know, tuck in some little bits and pieces down the side here. There's still, that's a good 100 or so mil of space down the side, and I can still reach over the back if I needed to. If it ever became a real problem, you know, maybe you could cut a section out here and lower that down if you really needed to try and get something along through, but I think this is going to be great. It's going to work well. So now it's a matter of just bolting these down. Check to make sure the door works. Sweet, that's awesome. And for me, offsetting this as much as I can to this side is going to be more beneficial because I've got my charging point here and my light and my information for my van. So I think that's going to be better to get stuff down there, and I'll use this as the pokey side. So I'll just make sure I line that up the best I can. Maybe get that right on that edge. Maybe even sneak that right up against that edge there. There we go. Nice and square. There we go. Look at that, there's a good amount of space there. I think that's going to work. Ooh, that just hit. So there you go, there's a test. So line it up where you think you want it to be. Okay, then close your door. And you can see that's just pushed us back. So if I had had that too far forward, this seal, it wouldn't have locked and we wouldn't have had a good seal there. So just sneaking it back a couple of mil. It's going to work. And make sure you got a nice straight edge. This little bottom corner with that curve, you want to make sure you're not going to hit that curve when the draw's in there, because that'd be an issue. I'm going to give myself just a little bit more clearance there just to be sure. There we go. That's not going to be an issue at all. Alright, that's it. That's where it's going to go. So with anything you're going to be drilling into your van, make sure you have a really good look that you're not going to hit anything. You obviously don't want to hit your gas line that's under there, or you know, your water lines. But I've got a couple of really good areas that I can work with. I can come down on top of this chassis rail here, and I can screw straight into that with some sort of big threaded screw. I can go into this as well. I know this is a pretty tough, so I think I'll probably put one straight into this. And then back here, it's just a big open area, so there's nothing there that's an issue. And I'm just going to drill straight through my floor, and I'll probably put a nice big washer on them. It's about 800 deep, so I've got plenty of space there, so I don't have to worry about hitting anything. Time to get underneath and we'll tighten them all up. Couldn't get much better. Look at that. 17 sits in that channel. That's going to hold it beautifully. Brilliant. Awesome. Quick shout out to Road Vision. This is the light that I'm using. I paid for this one. It's pretty cool. It's got USB rechargeable. There's a magnet on the end, and also it has a hook on the bottom as well. So you can hang that maybe under your bonnet if you need to. But the magnet's pretty cool. You've got your full LED strip on there and a pointer on the end, and it is super bright. There we go. And it's dimmable as well. So you can use it on the beam, and you can brighten it or dim it. So, hey, thanks for making a great light. It's really making my life really handy and makes me look good. Awesome, so there it is. She's in. She's got 4 big bolts going all the way down. The door closes nicely. There you go. Time to fill it all up. All right, so time to put it all back together. And like it last, the top tray. There you go. Like a glove. So there you have it, the Dune 4-wheel drive kitchen inside the tunnel boot. There is a stack of space still around there. So let me quickly set it back up just to see how easy it is. We can pull out one table and just do a little quick cook up or something like that. You wouldn't need to put the legs down when you've got this one out, so that'd be fine. If you want to make it longer, super easy. Again, you know, if you're on the side of the road and just doing a quick little hookup, I reckon you get away with that. It's a beautiful height. I can still have the Barbie on there, a little bit wobbly, but maybe just chuck maybe a couple of legs down in a hurry there. You know, it doesn't take much to do it, which is great. Solid as a rock. Grab out your Barbie and you're ready to rock and roll. So where's my Barbie? That's it. That's awesome. I love it. Absolutely love it. There's a ton of space to be able to prep, and you know, if I had some, you know, I don't know, cooking utensils or a bit of a pantry on here, I can see this being really cool. Get out what I need, you know, pull it out, put it over here, give it a good prep up. Slide it out the way. That's great. Anyway, so there you have it. There's the 4-wheel drive camp kitchen from Dune installed in the tunnel boot. Yeah, if you've got any questions on how I've done it, it's been pretty self-explanatory. Most of the stuff was available when you bought the kit, just some longer bolts if you needed them. And it's probably taking me about 2 hours because I have to film this. It takes a little bit longer. I reckon you've got to knock this over in an hour, and if you've got a mate with you, probably in 45 minutes. So, well, look forward to getting this out on the road. We're going to be hitting in the second half of this year all of Northern Territory and WA. So I wanted to get this ready for a little quick weekend away that we're going to do. It's coming up to Australia Day. Hopefully I can get this out before Australia Day, who knows, if not the week after. So anyway, if you've got any questions about this setup or what we've been doing to the rest of the caravans, pretty cool stuff that we've been doing on the outdoor shower as well. Yeah, got a lot of feedback on that one. Hey, just shoot us a message, happy to answer those ones for you. Anyway, please do like and subscribe, really do appreciate the support. And thanks very much everyone, we'll catch you next time on Hitch Up Adventures. Cheers, stay safe.